after. I'm gonna run out of memory. I was thinking, am I gonna run out of memory or not? So today, I wanted to like work a little bit on our like in general what we've been practicing over the last few weeks. And you guys know that we have been looking at many different techniques. Let's throw them all together and maybe what is a little bit more of a workflow than you're used to from us. But that's okay. You don't have to understand everything. The goal of tonight is not to understand everything. The goal of tonight is to get into contact with as many different attack techniques as we possibly can so that we can like expand our territory. That's also why I wanted to ask you guys, like if you have any tips for me, if you have anything that you want to like say, hey, Uncle Red, test this or test whatever, don't hesitate to tell me that. I love to like also get some ideas from you guys, of course, really important. So let's quickly do that. Today, let's start with the simplest of simple stuff. Like we'll probably get to a real target as well. I don't know for sure, but if we don't, like this is applicable to real targets because what you're going to see is coming from real targets. And I have a little bit of a checklist here that I have for myself that you guys can access as well. And you guys, if you are in the Discord server, you can just do exclamation mark and then lesson material or something. Just do exclamation mark help. The bot will tell you. Really, my memory is fucked up, dude. I'm 34 years old. Okay, so I wanted to start immediately, like with Rat Forum. Do you guys know Rat Forum? Probably. Let me share a little bit about that. I'm gonna share my screen. Here we go. This is already Rat Track, but we're just gonna start with Rat Forum. What's the first thing I should do at this point? Anybody got a clue? Like, anybody got a tip for me? What am I doing here? What's the first thing that I should be doing? I've repeated it for pretty much every lesson in the previous lessons. So if you don't know now, that would be a come on, guys, you know this. I don't have one tool open. One specific tool is not open. So that means that they're like, what kind of a tool would I be missing that I want to be filling up? Any ideas?
Burp.
Burp, yeah, indeed, burp. It could also run with Zap if I'm really sadistic. If I hate myself, I can run with Zap. Let's not do that at the moment though. Let's run with Burp, but we're gonna run with the community edition because you guys are probably also gonna have the community edition. You're not gonna be able to load projects, but you might be able to have a little bit of like fun with configuration files here or there. That's beside the point. If your burp suite is starting up and you're constantly crashing because there's too many extensions open, you can disable those, of course, on this beginner screen. Like you can really rightfully said, I have burp here. I have options. Option A would be to use the built-in browser, right? That's one option. But I don't like to be lazy. I really don't like to be lazy. So do we have it on here? We should have it on here. Let me just see. We should have Firefox. Now, what's important when I want to import, like, or when I want to work with Firefox to Burp Suite? Anybody can guess what's so important there? No, no clues. So probably in this case, it's not gonna matter that much. But you need to have the certificate from Burp Suite. You need to have that installed on your laptop, right? Or at least you need to have that installed on Firefox. Now, why did I say my laptop? Where else can I install that Burp Suite certificate? Any ideas?
If you are using command line tools like WSL, you can install in WSL as well.
Yeah, indeed. That's a very good valid option. I'm just gonna, sorry, one moment. That way I can hear you better. That's better. So I hope that the microphone didn't switch now. Uh, no, that's still the right microphone. Okay, so indeed, like you could do it in your system, you could do it in a mobile device, you could do it in a fucking smart fridge for all I care. But that certificate, why does that matter? That's used to be able to encrypt and decrypt your traffic. So, like, we don't have the HTTPS in here, but let's start with rat forum in and of itself. .thexssrat.com. While I'm exploring, what could I have open? What could I have running in the background that would give me visibility into this application for later? I'm meaning, like, I'm talking about something which may be hidden now from myself, but which maybe in the future shouldn't be hidden from myself, if that makes any sense. Like I need to make. Oh, sorry. Are you talking at? I'm in. My apologies. I don't know. Can you please repeat? Did it put that correct now? Were you saying something at? Yeah. Now I can hear you perfect.
In this talk, I will tell you a little bit about how to attack the old protocol and get a lot of account takeovers, basically. My name is Greg.
Sorry, you were talking. I can hear accounts. You said accounts is something that you'd be attacking, right? Protocols. Protocols is something that I heard as well. So you'd probably be messing with protocols here, right? So indeed, that's something, but you want to do fuzzing, right? That's important. You want to do fuzzing. And where are we going to start? It'll all depend on our scope. But what kind of tools do you guys use if you want to do fuzzing? Like I could probably think of Durbuster, for example, but you guys are already calling me Unk. So I kind of stopped doing Durbuster. Any more recent tools? How about Puff? Or if you have the content discovery from Burp Suite Pro, those could be indeed GoBuster. What's the difference between Dirtbuster and GoBuster? Good one, Asif. What's the difference? Why would I want to use Dirtbuster versus GoBuster? Right, indeed. But why would Dirtbuster then still be existing and so popular? That's a good question, isn't it? Like, it's the same as for port scanning. If the server is in scope, I should do port scanning. And you can do different tools and they all have different uses. They have different use cases. What if you don't have Go? Well, then Dirtbuster could be a great option. But let's say that even then, even that's something that we don't have. We are like poor little fuckers. We are assholes. We don't know anything. So what do we have? Let's say Python. You could ask it to make a script in Python that does the same thing. Or you could ask it to make a script in Bash. Let's do that. Create a Bash script for content discovery. What strategies do I have for content discovery? I'm looking for two strategies. What kind of strategies do I have here? What could I do? Like if you think about content discovery, right? How could I go about discovering content? Any guesses there? JD left. JD's like, fuck this shit. Come on, guys. Wake up. Participation. Enumeration and directory fuzzing. Good one.
Uh,
What's the... Go ahead, sorry.
it can be file extension of like what we want to discover, like .html, .php, .js.
Indeed, yeah. Like you're talking about you have your content discovery, which is brute forcing, right? And fuzzing, that like Steve said, indeed, fuzzing or enumeration, and that could be crawling. Now, in crawling, I have two strategies. I'm curious if Ikashikam knows of this one. What text strategies would I have in crawling? That's a good one, isn't it? So when I am doing this kind of shit, right? When I'm crawling, there's like modern web applications, right? There's older applications. Yeah, indeed, the spider, and there's the JavaScript spidering. And the JavaScript spidering is different because the spidering there can go different location. It can do dumb shit. Like it's really fucking powerful. So like you need to realize that in newer applications, JavaScripts contain a lot of different paths, a lot of different secrets. So with just the dumbest thing in the world, we've already got three parts of content discovery. I think we can all know the basic one, right? Now, what I want is a JS crawler just to see what that looks like. So this thing doesn't complain. It doesn't tell me, no, I'm not gonna do that, blah, 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 which is great. I love it. Please don't complain at all. I prefer it that way. So once we have this crawler, like I'm not gonna go through the whole motions with you guys. This is something which you should know, right? To a degree, you should be knowing this. Now, if I don't have certain tools on my laptop, I can use Docker. Docker, I can put Docker files, which I can tell collections of tools that I want to have installed with the requirements, with everything, with run commands, etc., etc., etc. So Docker should be one of the main locations you are going to be looking at. Let me just quickly sign in so that way we can access the Docker Hub. This is something that for me, every hacker should know what Docker is. I can have images in here and I have my own containers as well, of course. You can find me on the Docker Hub. So if you go to Docker Hub, you can see here, I just remove that off thing, go to Docker Hub. There you can find a lot of my shit. So let's see here, where the hell do I go? Uncle Rat. I feel like I'm getting old, dude. Oh no, that's just fucking hell. That's not the Docker Hub. That's the Docker Hub, hub.docker.com, idiot. And here, Uncle Rat. If you guys want, I can make like a collection of pen testing tools which you might like or find useful. Rat Hack, I don't even remember what the hell was in that. It's like probably uh I think it's one of the labs actually. Yeah. Like a lot of people download these labs apparently, popular labs for fuck's sake. And there's one that I want to look at in here. So let's look at this one. Let's pull this fucker in. I want the latest build for it. And I need to pull this thing in. So how do I do that? Just go to the terminal because I have Docker open anyway. then I can pull that image in and it's just gonna download that container. Now it's not gonna match anything here. It's not gonna be able to load. That's unfortunate. It's probably because I built it for the wrong version. That's okay. I can look at building that later. I don't want to take up too much time here, but it's a bug bounty platform where you can report that kind of shit. I was hoping that I would be a little bit faster with it, but that's okay. I'll have a little bit of a look-see at the break. So we've done content discovery, or at least we think we have, but that takes a long time, and you can pretty much keep on doing content discovery over and over and over in the background. Eventually, you're going to have to move on to actually hacking. So how do we do that first? Use the application. Normal usage of the application. Invalid credentials. Let's write this there. Let's make a stupid username. I've got the same as the password and log in with that username. And then we'll see what we can do. So welcome, go to forum, view the replies. And a lot of you would already start hacking here, inserting different attack factors. I'm not. I'm just filling my background. Like I'm just filling everything in the backend. Yes, there's PHP warnings. A lot of you will be like, Uncle Rat, your lab's broken, your lab's broken. Guess what? Bug bounty platforms have the same shit. It's you have to take care of yourself. And a bug bounty platform, in a program, they don't give a shit. It's a lab environment often, or production, but then it's not going to be broken. But lab environments have broken functionalities. It's up to you to find a way around it and still work on it. So I'm just going to go and like make my own thread now. I haven't done that yet. Uncle Red is the best. We all know that. And then I can see it on the home page, and I have an edit button in here. Now, when you guys see this, wait with IDOR testing. Now comes what, in my opinion, makes or breaks a good bug bounty hunter. Let's go back to Notion for a moment, because in here, I don't want to show you guys notes. I want to give you guys. So here, oh, damn, that's nice. I didn't even remember I had this. So this is just a collection of like things that I have for pen testing. It's not in pen testing in general, but let's say that we have the rat forum shit. So rat forum, and in here, this is the notes section. Just the notes where I can do a bunch of shit. I give that a little bit of a, so this is gonna be documentation. Property gonna be rat forum, http ratforum.thexssrat.com. All right, I can put some notes in here as well, like some extra notes, but they're not gonna be useful right now. I need to open that page. So in here, let's talk about notes first. We have objects, right? Objects. We need to somehow show that in like a nice overview of what we could still test, right? So objects is the first thing you need to list if you want to check for IDORs. There's a reply, there's a post, there's a user. That's what we've seen so far. I'm taking my sweet ass time. You can ask people who actually see me hunt, and maybe you'll see that in a little bit as well. I don't talk. I don't really like pay attention to anybody except for what I have to hack. And that's the way it should be. Now, I could test for IDORs on here. Fine. I can note that down, but that's for later. I'm not done. Profile section. Nothing's filled in. Bunch of errors. That's broken, Uncle Rat. That's broken, Uncle Rat. Who says that's actually broken? Yeah, but have you tried filling in all the fields, my friend? Like in some of these fields, maybe. There we go. So it's a little bit hard to see here, but there's an image URL here as well. You guys are probably thinking the same thing as I'm thinking. Let's do some XSRF here, but that's for later. How will I remember all of that shit? So we have the objects, we have the attacks that we want to do. XSRF on what endpoint? Copy and paste for everything. So then what else do we want? IDORs. Broken access control, question mark, God knows. Okay, let's see what else. Benchmarks. We already see a nice cross-site scripting pop up here, but let's just pretend that that didn't happen. So benchmarks, the same thing. You have to do everything you can here. And we are gonna see something that you guys probably are skipping. I have a feeling that a lot of people are skipping this. So yeah, just give it a fucking score so we can move on. Submit, benchmark, search, enter keywords, value reflected. Yeah, fine. You can look for cross-site scripting all day if you want. And then just an index of the amount of users that we have here based on join order or when they have been last seen. So that's about it, it seems like, right? We still need to do source code analysis. Secret Finder. This is a really nice tool. Can help you find secret usernames, passwords, all of that kind of shit in JavaScript. Link Finder. A very similar thing. And this is a powerful one for me. Yeah, not ChatGPT itself. So what I want ChatGPT to do is I wanted to create a Python script that will scrape the HTML or like a JavaScript file, a JScript that will scrape the HTML. And then we can still look for secrets in there, right? We can parse that whole HTML into ChatGPT. Isn't that awesome? All right, so I think that's about it. Source code discovery, content discovery. We've done a little bit of exploration. Now we need to actually start attacking in here. A lot of you guys will attack from here. There's nothing wrong with that, but do that in a lazy way, guys. So single quote, double quote, backtick, greater than sign, image, broken image. Yes, use broken image. Source equals X, and then do some like some CSTI on top of it. Dollar sign, do curly brackets, 7. Yeah, well, let's do to the power of. It doesn't really matter. +1, whatever the fuck it is. But just make it a calculation that's easy to see and that you can spot. And then try that everywhere. Save changes. Okay, post updated, view thread. Try that everywhere. Try that in the comments. Now, our comments, and think very carefully. Are comments vulnerable to XSS? Seems like a simple question, isn't it? You guys are forgetting the basics of testing. You're not making the attack surface appear. This is something which I don't know. I don't know if this is vulnerable to XSS because how many entry points are there to replies? What can I do with the object of replies, guys? Like, what actions can I do on a reply? That's a simple question. No trick question here. What actions can I do on the object reply? Okay, now I feel like I'm losing you. Wake up, guys. Come on. What can I do on a reply? Can I post a new reply? Create? Yep. Can I do read? Yeah, that's not important. Can I do update? Yeah. Can I do delete? Probably, but that's not cross-site scripting testing anymore. So never forget that there's always two entry points. Edit and add comment. Do that for everything, right? If you do so, like if you add a new thing, if you edit a new thing, it's just important. Now, let's talk SQL injection. How would I hunt for SQL injection on this website? Real simple. And this is also where a lot of you guys are going wrong. So I have the SQL Py extension installed. I'm going to load that. Could not find, so SQL map extension API. Okay, fine. Whatever the fuck you say. SQL API, start my API, bro. Come on, you can do it. What I want is I want to be able to judge myself a little bit of what is so still not running. Something is probably broken. That's okay. I'm not gonna be worrying too much about this. I just want to estimate myself what can go into the database. So every parameter matters. Every parameter matters just as much as the previous one. So in the sitemap, yeah, I've probably fucked shit up by doing that in my normal browser. So I don't have any of the traffic. But you should not be me. You should listen to me. You should not do like me. You should listen to me. Okay? So SQL injection. What else do we want to test on this website? Let's test your guys' memory. No, I'm sorry, the recordings aren't available yet. We talked about it before. Anybody remember that SSRF story that we've noted down? That's it. The notes. Replies. Posts. Users. Create. Read. Update. Delete. Create, fine. I can create anyway. I can create a reply. Can I read a reply? Yeah. Update. Delete. Same for a post. Can I update? Can I delete the post? Can I delete posts that aren't mine? Can I update posts that aren't mine? What else are we not testing on here? Unauthenticated. Guess what suddenly becomes important again? Should we test read on this? No, right? Even if you're not logged in, you can read any post, you can read any reply. Can you create replies when you're not logged in? Let's have a check. Let's see. Home. Log out. Few replies. No. Log into reply. Isn't that something we should be testing on authenticated then? Yep, indeed. Once again, an extra piece of the puzzle falls into place. So I'm noting things down very cautiously because now I can, for example, and stop pinging me, Discord. Shut the fuck up, bro. Jesus, the thing is like padoop, padoop, padoop. So why not use authorize for this? That's a great question, Asif. Authorize is one of my favorite, and I mean all-time favorite extensions that I could ever wish for. I'm sorry. Somebody's telling me that the Zoom link didn't work. But everybody's here, aren't we?
Yeah, link sent by Discord board is not working. I joined via Podia.
Should I, should I, let's see here. That's why Orgus is like pinging the hell out of me, probably. That's really weird that Zoom link isn't working, probably because it's still the old one. Copy invitation. I'll just ping him this. There we go. I have no idea why that didn't work. My apologies for that. The recordings will be available. Just that's it. That's all I can make out of it. But why not test with authorize here? As if that's a great question. I love authorize. I would definitely test it. This is too simple for me because this is not enough testing where I need to like automate a lot. This is one test for me, two tests for me, three tests for me, four tests for me, and maybe add another six. It's 10 tests for me. If I were to set up authorize, by the time I've set up authorize, those 10 tests are done. Now, another reason why you might want to avoid authorize at certain points is let's have a little bit of a look at that. Sorry, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I don't know why that Discord bot. Sorry about that. Let's just continue. So I want to make a request, and I'm going to start sharing my screen again. Share, there we go. Okay, now I want to make requests from here. How can I test these unauthenticated without burp? How can I test the edit unauthenticated without burp? Network. Here, the edit post. Copy as curl. Put it somewhere in a text file. I'm just gonna put it in the chat here. You could do incognito mode, but there you couldn't do a post. And that's what a lot of people then would miss is that post. Now here I could just say, I don't remember what it is. Is it JWT? Is it the session? It's probably gonna be the session ID. You could just remove that. And you have your unauthenticated curl call. And what's the advantage of this versus doing it in Burp Suite? Think about your reporting time. Now, should you always do it like this? No, this is more complicated. If you're limited, you should do it like this, but definitely not always. Just know that Burp Suite, it's not a requirement for sure. We've proven that like many times over now. Anyway, so do I need this still? No, yeah, why not? Let's see here. One moment, guys. Docker pentesting container. The Docker Hub. I was just seeing if there was anything pre-built. This one has a lot of tools in it. Has a decent amount of tools in. Definitely not everything yet, but it's a lot of what I would use here. So let's go through the list. Who is domain analyzer and let's look up find and map. Not derp, but possibly derp. Possibly. Waffle, maybe if there was a WAF. Nikto. We haven't run Nikto yet. You guys starting to see how important a checklist is. And you might be telling me, Unc, you are so old, Nikto is now outdated. I don't care what you say. Each scanning engine has its own techniques. Yes, Nuclei is more efficient, better, easier to config, etc., etc., etc. But Nikto is 2 seconds of work. Integrate that into your workflow. Julius, are you watching, bro? I don't know if Julius is here, but integrate that in our workflows, bro. XSS Pi, XSS Strike. I wouldn't integrate them because there are too many options. That's the problem. Once your workflows become too complicated, WFUS, it's all like going downhill from here. SQL map, maybe that kind of shit. But this is not that. And that's also why I don't like, for example, Kali. I'm not a big fan of Kali. It's just bloatware. There's just so much shit on it that nobody uses. And dude, if you come to me saying that Metasploit is the best thing that ever invented by humanity, I'm gonna come and personally find your house, and I'm going to take your computer away, and I'm going to take your internet devices away, and I'm going to make sure that you never get on the internet again. Because fuck MSF, bro. Besides MSF console, right, to generate like these reverse shells and shit, besides that, it's not useful. It doesn't teach you anything. It teaches you skitty behavior. Get off of that. Don't do that, dude. If you see an exploit and you can't exploit it yourself, maybe you should just look deeper. Like this, if you can't find a book, make a book. You might be telling me, oh, Unc, you need to know a lot to make a Pokemon, and then learn it. This is fucking bug bounties. This isn't pen testing where you can be sitting on your lazy ass all day, not doing anything. This is real shit here. You need to be creative. And on our labs, so far, we saw that cross-site scripting exists. Here, I don't feel like we can do a whole lot more. This moment, we're just tested out. And that's okay. You just stop. Except for two things that we found, SSRF, we found cross-site scripting. Maybe there's an IDOR in there. I don't know. That's up to you to find. But let me just check if I have gone over every exploit that I needed to go over. And then we can see if we can maybe take a very small break so I can grab a drink. Okay, let's see this. Fine. And this is the forum. Yeah, that's also something. What haven't we tested yet? There's something we are forgetting. We've done SSRF, but not CSRF, right? CSRF testing. Does that matter here? Yeah, that would matter a lot. I would test for CSRF for sure. What can we do with that cross-site scripting that we found here in the benchmarks? We know that there's cross-site scripting on the benchmark title. So what can we test with this thing? Account takeover. I just removed the session ID from a call. So the PHP session ID is what you want to steal. And you can very easily make a JavaScript cookie stealer, or you can look one up, cookie stealer. This one, cookie stealer demo, for example. Is this something? Examples, reflected. Yeah, this is one. What they're doing is XHR request. Just a request back to a web server that they own with these cookies gotten through JavaScript. And I hear it pinging from this computer now. So that's annoying. Let's get rid of that. But let's see. Okay, so these are all of the things that I wanted to go over in here. Are there any questions so far about that? I don't see any questions. Good to see you, Veronica. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. There will be recordings as well available afterwards because a little part of the introduction, well, got fucked. I don't know what happened, but it got fucked. So let's take a small break. Let's take a 10-minute break. That way I can quickly grab a drink and make sure that the rats are okay. I will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so whoever is back, I have an assignment for you. Exploit the XSS in the rat forum to actually grab that token and take over the full account. Wonder what you guys can make of that. Was everything clear from the previous part? Do you guys have questions about what we've been going over? Red rule! Woo! The rats are so cute, dude. Like, especially Haggis, he's really a cuddle boy. He loves to cuddle up with me, dude. So sweet. He's really like the cutest thing I've ever seen in the world. Lays his little head on your lap. So cute. I should let Haggis teach for once. I'm really curious what kind of results we would get if we let him teach. It's probably gonna get something to do with cheese. Okay, so for this lab, we've done most of it. So I got in this question, no, you cannot run things that need a GUI with Docker. Docker can only run server and headless things. Has anybody been able to exploit that XSS yet? Okay, timer's gone. Why haven't you guys been able to exploit that XSS yet? Let's see. Let's just give it a try. Right? Benchmarks here. We see a script. There's a lot of scripting being done here. But I see a lot of attack vectors which you guys don't really know what the fuck you're doing with. So that's not a bad thing, by the way. But you see this HTTP server over here? That's not a banned server. I need to do something like webhook.site or like an out of band server. And then just need to put that location in here. Document the location is. No, I just need this. This is my URL. Question mark cookie is the data that's being sent along, and then some data here, just so we can actually submit a request. benchmark title too long. Okay, so now we have to shrink this. So let's see. Why does it always want to open that conversation? Yeah, let's see here. So shrink this vector. I have limited room. First of all, any ideas from the audience? How would you shrink a tag vector like this? Before we move on. Okay, no ideas, fine. We could host this script externally. We could encrypt it to make it smaller. Let's see what ChatGPT says. It didn't really do anything. Why am I doing the wrong thing here? What input am I giving wrong? I'm asking strategic questions because I want you to ask those same questions to yourself. There's something missing from my input. I am not giving ChatGPT the delimitations. What's the limitation? What's the longest benchmark? Maybe test that first, then see how much you have to shrink it. So always keep asking yourself very, very target questions. What the hell am I doing? Sometimes we humans, we're so into the mix that we forget to see the big picture. Like that's a big sin in bug bounties. The big picture, that's where it's all at. Just can control, yeah. There's stuff that can be done here. But why would I tell you to add a polyglot everywhere? I told you give me the polyglot, single quote, double quote, backtick. Why would I tell you to do that? I'm not aimed at XSS searching. Think about what I just told you. What are you going to do when I narrowly ask you to look for a vulnerability? You're going to have tunnel vision. So I am asking you to lazily look for an exploit, right? Right, guys? Now, how should we tackle this with CSRF? How can I lazily look for CSRF? Because, I mean, I could ask you to targetly look for CSRF, but add that lazily to your methodology for a moment. CSRF tokens, we can do match and replace here. So I always have to see where it is. It's in the proxy settings, match and replace rules. You okay, Orgus? You falling asleep, bro? Do I need to bring out the handcuffs for you? Orgus is a lock picker. Not that we're doing kinky shit. That sounded so wrong. Jesus, what do you put me in? Like, what kind of situations do you put me in? Now the guys think that we're fucking doing weird shit. He locks himself up, guys. I don't do any of that shit. And he somehow escapes every fucking time.
Wait till you see my next two videos.
Yeah, it's also something I want to you can
Yeah, the
upload
host tomorrow night.
this guy also has YouTube channel. Lockpicking is a nice skill, by the way, to have. It's a better skill than gaming. Now, if you replace the CSRF token in here, you still need to keep your head in the game because you still need to go through this application and trigger actions that would require CSRF posting after a login. like profile updates, system showcases, uploading system images. Click. Does it work? You have CSRF issue. And what can you replace your CSRF token with? That's why I am such a big fan of auto repeater. Anybody ever heard of that extension auto repeater? I'm not sure if I have it on here. Settings. Ooh, what the fuck am I doing? Settings, extensions, pop store, auto. Was it called auto repeater? Yeah, it's auto repeater without a space. That's my mistake. Auto repeater has these match and replace rules, but multiple match and replace rules. So it can do the same request multiple times. What do I always tell you, CSRF? And I'm referencing back to my 003 course here. CSRF, what do I always tell you? 4 types of test. Empty parameter, remove parameter, have the same length parameter, have a random text parameter. 4 tests which you could automate with auto repeater. You just, in the request body, you match CSRF token and replace it with what I just told you. Is that clear, ladies and gentlemen? Are you still awake? That's my second question. Who's still awake? Besides Sorgus, do we still have people that are in the audience that are like, hey? No? No. Fine, I'll teach for a fucking wall then. If you prefer that I teach for silent, let's go Orgus. Woo! I think Ikarikam is also awake, and I think Steve is also awake. I hope these guys are awake because they better be paying attention. My second question is, are you guys learning something new? Like, are you guys learning something that goes further than just that normal bug hunting here? These are the tips and tweaks which you are always asking about. I'm learning fuck all. That's great, Orgus. Then do bug bounties for me, bro. What the fuck are you doing sitting on your ass with a chain and a fucking lock, bro? Why? 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 Somebody give me some therapy, dude. Anyway, another thing that you could do here, proxy settings. Here in the proxy, you go, you click these things. Always do that. Always do that. These are JavaScript validations that are there to protect the users from their own stupidity. I don't care about those. Those are front-end validations. Like, of course, front-end, not validations, but sanitizations, it's a different story. But just the validation, I don't care about it. Thanks for building the awesome bot, Argus. We really appreciate that. And that's actually, if you guys aren't in our Discord yet, you really should be. I'm also going to post this stuff on YouTube, by the way. So just so you know that this will be available on YouTube later on, because you guys are always asking me for the recordings. Well, if you guys want the recordings, I don't know. Why didn't this fucker make me a fucking channel, bro? Why didn't this awesome bot make me a channel, bro? How about that? How about that? Unbelievable. So if you want to like, I'm just ripping on this bot, but if you guys want to, you can go and you can do lesson material for 72, I think this is, or get lesson material, I believe it was. Just do exclamation mark help. But this bot this has so many awesome features. And I know Orcus is gonna kill me a little bit if I show this, so I'm not gonna show all the awesome features that this bot has. But one of the awesome features, for example, is this one, Cert 71. It auto-generates certificates for you. It'll ask you that as well after the lesson, by the way. It's gonna ask you, would you like a certificate? It's gonna ask you as well for some feedback. I would really appreciate if you filled that in. because of course I'm trying to do a little bit different than on normal. But this is so far, we've looked at one application with just very limited scope, with very limited feature set. There's not even a whole lot to do here. When it comes to real broken access control systems, this is where you guys often go wrong as well. I saw this, and no blame to anybody, but you try to do things without really understanding it. Oh, that's possibly because you're not in the proper Discord for that. Let me invite you. I'll send you an invite for this Discord. And you also get experience after each lesson. Not after this lesson. We haven't put that in yet, but from next lessons on, you'll get experience. Why didn't you guys tell me that my beautiful face is not visible anymore? Jesus. So, what am I doing here? What's a tenant? There's no problem, Yusuf. No problem. Does anybody know what a tenant is? A tenant is an account. And you can have systems where you have multiple accounts that share the same database. Now think very carefully with me what these applications can do. Let's make a new tenant. I like to keep the username and password the same. What does this tell me? Why did I leave this broken part in? Because you could be saying it's broken. Why the fuck is it broken? Because look at this. What is this different than this? Well, I'll tell you what the big difference is between those two. One has granular rights where your create, read, update, and delete are separate rights. I'm giving you hints. And a lot of you guys are like, oh, this is broken lab. No, I'm giving you hints. Each error message will give you hints eventually. Like that's something you guys need to learn. Error messages are there for a reason. URL was not found on server. Fine. That one maybe like the dashboard, maybe we should make a dashboard. But that could happen in production as well, that the dashboard's missing. Or maybe the dashboard's named differently and you have to find it. God knows what. Now, a lot of you guys are already going. Let's just add a new burrow, just a simple one. And then we have runners. A lot of you guys were already adding runners without having a burrow. Where will you assign somebody to if you don't have a burrow? Then the NOR machines, they're also assigned to a burrow. The movements, I can't move from one burrow to the same burrow. I need other objects here to move. There's functional things here that each user can and can't do. And you're lucky. You can count your lucky stars if they give you this. Because that's something you're gonna have to do for yourself. You're gonna have to figure this out. What can who do? Why can they do that? Why can other users do that? Here you have also a viewer with read-only access. Now, here comes the annoying testing part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different groups. You all have to check each right. Oh shit, what the fuck am I doing? I wanted to put this in Notion here. Red forum. So we moved on from red forum for a moment. We moved on to red back park. Let's move to there first. Why do I want to move to Ratpack Park? Because you can create your own role. I have to subscribe because I'm now getting you're not subscribed to this lesson. We can add you to that lesson. Let's see. So, there we go. So I thought I thought I added you guys, but especially Yusuf at student 72. This one is 72. Let's see if this was the command. I always have to remember. Subscribe student. No, I'll have to look it up, but I will add you guys to the crusade. Fuck it, I don't remember at the top of my head. There should be, that doesn't really matter at the moment. I will add you guys to there, and then it should also create a lesson channel here. You see, like, this is what I mean. In this lesson channel, any information about this lesson specifically, we will find. So we will have to subscribe you to that lesson, but that's okay because you're here from the endless bundle. The thing is just this bot will be put into all of our servers at a certain moment. Yusuf, if you're probably here from the endless bundle. If you're here, you should probably also join the endless community server because we often do giveaways there and shit like that. So um, now let's talk about role creation because role testing yourself is one thing, but role creation, this leaves room for a whole lot of mess to it. Like, holy shit, admin manager, ticket sales. Here you see all of the different things. This is pretty cool, right? This is almost like a real attraction part. That's the idea. The ticket sales part here is the idea. So, for example, you have this isn't real application. I'm just gonna say it. This is supposed to be a real application. And it looks exactly the same. Like not exactly, but it's super similar in terms of GUI design. So I'm not gonna say exactly which one, but there are exploits in here which I found on that one. That's what I tried to do. Now, look at these groups that we already have, right? There we go. What would I need to do now? We were going to go for Ratback Park. Let's open that one. Let's make note of these users. Now, why is this so powerful? Because check it out. Plus username plus password. And we can make those users and we can plug in the PC before that dies. That's not a good thing. We don't want that to happen. There we go. So back to Ratback Park. Now we have to make those users. So you'll have to see daily operations, role management, admin program, the maintenance, my roster, tickets. Did I remove that roster? Is that one? No. Fuck, don't tell me I could remove that one for creating users. That's not very smart. Okay, I'll have to add that. But that's beside the point for now. Like you can create users in this one. I think the link is just hidden. But that's okay. That's also a good one. Why not? Like you'll probably have to do a little bit of exploration here. Let's look at if we start a new one because potentially there's some shit missing in mine. So let's see here. Start a free trial. Ooh, out something. Nope, we have the same thing. So we don't have role user assignment yet. Have to find that maybe. Let's look at the other one, Swevo. Or what am I saying, Swevo? Then you already know what this fucking thing is based on, right? Swevo. So we have the same here. We can do the same thing. Let's just pretend that that was Ratback Park. We have to take notes. We have to take our time to take notes. User, pause, and make some accounts. Users. auth dot, and I'm purposefully giving these guys weird names. Bureau chief. Because now I want to see the confusion. If you have 20 of these little fuckers going about, these little usernames, you're confused. You're just as confused as I am. So let's add another user. Okay, so you can have your password manager and shit like that, but you're not gonna tell me that you like assign that there's no way to remove users. I just noticed. That's again not the point. So what do we have here? The overseer, okay, fine. The bureau chief, we can log in a different tab in a private window. It's not only good for looking at that kind of shit, guys. It's also good for looking at this. But to log in, you need to remember what you've done. See, I already lost that username of that other guy. Voila, it's that easy. And you have to make a new one. And it's frustrating. Now, I've already heard that you could do a little bit of get testing in here. You guys know how to use authorize. If you don't know how to use authorize, there's a full guide on my channel, and there's a link in my notes as well. I will add that to the lesson materials. But for now, so here, user A, user B, dashboard, bureaus, runners, and then groups, but not nestmates. This will just test get requests. We know that. But it does work. But there is read, update, delete as well. And the real fun comes from groups that can, for example, view and edit runners, but they can't delete them. Runners. Check that link in the bottom left. It's a simple get link. Copy link. I can't remove twice anyway. Why would I not use authorize? I can't remove twice. So I hope that makes sense. Did we just discover a broken access control? Any guesses? Did we just discover something that's report worthy? I've been talking a little bit to try and distract you, and I think it's been working because you guys have no idea if something happened right on screen. It's so easy to distract you. I love it because I just showed a very big vulnerability and you missed it right in front of your own eyes. Like maybe you're telling yourself, yeah, I know it. I know what vulnerability he's talking about. That's fine. Like maybe you don't want to come public, but did anybody have an idea of what vulnerability I just exposed in this web application? It's all about details. It's all about paying attention, especially when you're doing something as big as this application, because you're going to be testing this application at least 5 times. There's no getting out of it. And you need to every single time keep your head in the game. Why else would I not use authorize? This should give you your first clues. By the way, this is the issue that a lot of you guys were talking about, but this should give you your first clues. Can I, in this request, if I use authorize, can I granularly test broken access control to the from and the to bureau? No, only at the same time, both. If the from errors out and never reaches the to, you miss it. But if you're paying close attention as if, then you're not gonna miss these types of things anymore. It's just, you see how close of an attention I'm trying to pay here. just so I have all of these things in order. There's a second order IDOR in here as well. This ticket printer, guy doesn't have access to it, but can see the tickets. So even if this guy wouldn't have access to an object, they can print that tickets from them. And what is that? That's a second order IDOR. Because to grab the object, we use the ticket printer system. And we authenticate towards the ticket printer system. And the ticket printer system authenticates towards the backend. But they forget to pass the proper authentication. This has happened to me before. I couldn't directly edit a file, but if I upload a product, but if I uploaded a file with the product ID, I could edit it. Isn't that amazing? Second order IDORs matter so much. Whew, holy shit, I'm winded. Would you test for cross-site scripting on something like this? No. Just don't bother. Don't fucking bother. There's no point. They trust you. You're in a trust relationship. Once you get hired, you're in a trust relationship. That's what they see it as. Now, should I? And that's a very important question to ask. Tests on authenticated. I'm pretty sure you would have missed this. Authorize works there. Yeah, fine, I'll take that. Like, authorize is great on authenticated testing, but so is auto replace or auto repeater or any of these really cool tools, you know? So authorize, I love it. Don't get me wrong, I freaking love it. But I just want to expand your world a little bit so you're not that stuck. Now, I logged out of here. Let's register for a new tenant. Oh, helps if I shit. I was just about to say, yeah, so now I have to remember that. That's great. Why the fuck didn't I make the passwords the same? Idiot. This was the username, this was the password. Okay, so one browser I'm logged in as one thing, one browser I'm logged in as the other. Company. Yes, company. Object not found. Fine. What else? Ticket printer. Movements. Can we do stuff with movements that we shouldn't do? Can we, for example, copy this link and put it in here? Yes, we can. Did it actually delete it though? That's the question. No, it didn't. Can we edit stuff from one user to the next? Let's see. Copy link address. You can go far like this. You can even go into executing JavaScript calls through the console. But you really need to contextualize what you're testing on what application. And when you're testing broken access control, Asif, I hope I made you see that it's more than just testing broken access control. It's keeping your head in the game, seeing if you have granular tests or not, seeing if you need to make your own groups or not. I made this mind map that I'm going to give you guys as well. You see, this shows you what broken access control is. This is nothing new. So is there any way so we can confirm if we found all the broken access controls? Yes, but you rush into things too fast. Because what's a broken access control? On function level or on object level? right? So you need to really think when you get started with this one, for example. List all the objects, all of them. List what you want to do. Test from A to account B. Test within one account. Test if I can do broken access control on these functions. Create, read, update, delete. And that's it. It doesn't sound like a lot, does it? But when it comes to actually seeing what roles you have and what user assignment goes into here, like it's different, bro. It's just there's just a lot. There's a lot to learn. And especially when it comes to granular rights like this is just ridiculous, bro. There's just so much to do. Yeah, exactly. This is like a real world application would be. I have real world applications that are like this, where I can do things that I shouldn't be able to do with one user. I got rewarded, I think it was 86 euros for it or something stupid on something like Rat Track, where I was able to just see, this can do this. I just try it, I find a JavaScript function, and bam, broken access control. The program I want you to do that on when it becomes available again is Swivo on integrity. For fuck's sake, I can't type anymore. Swivo on integrity, Swivo bug bounty. Yep, it's open. Boys, gather the hunting. The spears, let's just say. Gather the spears. Because in Swivo at the very end, you see here you have account details. You can use these account details. For example, this manager here, I will just show you guys. Why not? Pay very close attention to this, please. So we have Integrity Manager 2. This password, the one is broken. You can ask to have it fixed. I'm not sure if they're gonna do it. Check this out. Users. Open user detail, I believe it was. Oh, for fuck's sake, fuck off. About personal information. And then here you have user profile and permissions. And here, look how well that's hidden. Each type of user you can create. You can create your own profiles. Each profile will have different things attached to it. There's different visibility levels for assets, for objects, for entities. Look how much there is to test, bro. Tell me once again that you prefer broad scope. I dare you. I fucking double dare you to tell me that there's not enough to test here. Because you have to list all of these things and you don't even have to list them. Like, you're asking me, is there a way to extensively test this? Yes. Between two different accounts, IDORs, broken access control with this. That's it. That's it. Unauthenticated, maybe. But that does mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tests of everything, brother. I'm not even talking about custom profiles yet. And I'm not even talking about entity views yet. I hope this all makes sense to you guys. Do you have questions for me on that so far? Do you now understand why I'm treating you so rough sometimes? And I'm just throwing you in the water, hoping that you'll swim with things like Rat Track, with things like Rat Pack Park. I really want to do my best to show you that you can do it, that you have it in yourself to do it. This is not difficult. It's just exhaustive. And then what I do, and that's different from what you're gonna do. is I'll look at every parameter. Every parameter separately gets investigated. And you can use authorize for this, bro. But what's better is if you just use, like, I'm gonna show you how to do this real quick, right? You make, oh, here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You make 5 accounts because full access can do anything anyway. Make 5 accounts, log in a separate tab, browser, whatever, get their authentication headers, put that in auto repeater, where it will auto replace them 5 times, 4 times auto replacement, no, 5 times. And then you go through each thing here. Speed, you look for the speed object. Then you go with click, view. Which of these have access to that? View, that is. Edit, you do an edit. Which of these have access to edit? And every time you're going to click, there's going to be 5 lines in here. Because you're going to be testing things with 5 different users. And it's up to you to see if that user should be able to perform that action or not. Keep continuously testing like this, and you'll get there. Believe me, bro. You asked me how do I get money? This is how you get money. This is how you get money. Like, simple, easy to report on, easy to find. You just need to have patience. I think I've gone over a lot today. This is just the initial exploitation part. There's a second section of the CyberCrusade as well. What you guys are visiting right now or witnessing is a CyberCrusade. And our CyberCrusades, let's see if we can get that sheet up. But in our CyberCrusades, there we go. We have 5 lessons. The next parts are gonna be about, as you can see here, APIs, business logic and injections, LFI and RFI, and initial broad scope exploration. If you're interested in that, the normal price is 9 coins for the full crusade. A coin, I don't know what they're costing at the moment, but you're gonna have it cheaper anyway, like by 50% at the very least, if you buy it through coins. So you just pay, we give you coins through the bot, and you can subscribe to these lessons through the bot. Normally we don't subscribe you. Normally you subscribe yourselves. But you guys already own this. The people who are watching this already own this, but I'm talking for YouTube. If you want, I'll put the link to our, like, I'll put a link to Discord channel. I'll put that in the description below. And when it comes to all of this together, these recordings are available through the bot. Because we're gonna add you to the crusade. You can just do get less material 69, 68, etc. And you can get these material links and you can get these, like, it's a lot easier that way. Like, for example, here we can get started and you can re-watch what we've been doing. It's hours of fun, hours of bug bounty, but at least in these I can go deeper into certain things that I find interesting, because I think we've been going for a good 1.5 hours at this moment. So I hope that this already gives you some practical advice, ladies and gentlemen. This really should give you some practical advice because it's applicable in a real world scenario. My name's been Uncle Rat. I really appreciate everyone coming. Recordings will be available in the mornings, and I'll see you later. Bye, amazing hackers. Much love to everyone. It's so awesome to see so many people here every freaking time. You rock.